You didn't really want it. You were pushed into wanting it. And look, I'm not talking about you being an idiot. I'm talking about you being human, which, let's face it, sometimes leads to the same result. But this time, it's not your fault. This time, the system did the dirty work with surgical precision, while you were there, in your underwear, watching a webinar at 11 o'clock at night, thinking you were investing in your personal development. Let me show you exactly how this happened. You were browsing the internet, probably procrastinating on something important, when suddenly an ad pops up. A guy in a dress shirt with the collar open, that smile of someone who's been in your shoes, and behind him a landscape of Dubai, or an all-white office that looks like the inside of an Apple store. He talks about things like financial freedom, life transformation, and exclusive method. And you think, interesting, let me see. Then you enter the sales page, and that's where the trap closes. A counter appears, 2 days, 14 hours, 37 minutes, and 19 seconds, 18, 17, 16. Next to it, a warning in red, only 11 spots remaining. And right below, in smaller letters, that classic phrase, the exclusive bonus expires at midnight. There's also a testimonial section below. A woman named Jennifer from Ohio, who bought a house in Florida in 3 months. A man named Chad from Texas, who quit his job in 90 days. Chad from Texas, with an abs. And before you even scroll down to see the price, the site throws 3 more things in your face. A progress bar showing that 83% of the spots have already been filled. A counter of people watching now flashing in the corner. 247, 248, 249, and a pop-up notification in the lower left corner saying that Brittany from Nashville just secured her spot. Brittany from Nashville at 11:30 p.m. What an absurd coincidence, huh? It's almost as if Brittany exists specifically to make you feel like you're falling behind, and your brain, at this very moment, is doing something very specific. He stops thinking. It's not a metaphor. It's not dramatic exaggeration to sound intelligent. It's literally what happens when your nervous system detects scarcity, plus time plus the possibility of loss. It activates the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for survival, and shuts down the prefrontal cortex, which is the part responsible for rational decision. In practical terms, you become a frightened animal with a credit card in your hand, and that's exactly what they want. This has a name. It's called artificial urgency. It's a carefully crafted psychological trigger to create panic before clarity appears. It's not a sales tactic. It's a weapon of judgment suppression. The difference between the two is that one helps you make a better decision, and the other prevents you from making any decision other than theirs. Think carefully about the mechanism. Countdown timers, almost sold-out spots, prices that go up at midnight, exclusive bonuses that will never appear again, emails with subject lines in all caps, last chance, access ends in 2 hours. Each of these elements exists for a single reason, to speed you up before doubt can even speak. Because doubt, in this game, is their enemy, not yours. His brain was wired to fear loss more than it values logic. Losing an opportunity hurts, even when the opportunity was a lie, packaged in a PDF and a Telegram group. The phenomenon even has a scientific name, loss aversion. Kahneman won a Nobel Prize talking about it. But of course, you weren't thinking about Kahneman when the timer showed less than an hour and you were typing in your CVV number. Think about how many times you've bought something before comparing prices. You felt that tightness in your chest when the timer reached 30 minutes. You said, "I'll deal with it later," knowing full well that you wouldn't. And the best part, you felt genuine relief after clicking Complete Purchase. An immediate, real, almost physical relief, followed 24 hours later by a remorse that crept in slowly, like a hangover from cheap wine. You know that feeling. Everyone knows it, and nobody likes to admit it. But look what's really happening. You're not making a smart decision. You're reacting under pressure. There's a huge difference between the two, and that difference is costly, literally. Because panic buying rarely solves the problem the product promised to solve. It solves the discomfort of feeling like you might miss out on something. They are completely different things. One is a solution, the other is anesthesia. And the silent damage goes beyond the money spent. Every time you obey the urge, you're training your brain to respond to urgency, not to evidence, not to real value, not to your own logic. Urgency, you become progressively more susceptible to the trigger, like someone who eats too much sugar and needs increasingly larger doses to feel the same way. Except here, instead of diabetes, you get a collection of digital courses you never finished and a purchase history you hide from your partner. And the system was designed precisely for that. It's not paranoia, it's a business model. Major launches in the American market are built on weeks of build-up, free content, live streams, email, stories, followed by a short sales window laden with artificial scarcity. The stated goal is to create FOMO, fear of missing out, on an industrial scale. The real goal is to prevent you from sleeping on the decision, because if you sleep, you'll probably wake up with a clearer head, and a cool head is the worst enemy of a launch. So let me give you the inside scoop. The exact moment you feel rushed, that specific pressure of, I need to decide now, is the moment you should stop. Not tomorrow, now. Stop, breathe, and ask yourself the simplest question in the world: why do I need to decide now? If the legitimate answer doesn't appear in 10 seconds, you know what's going on. True value survives reflection. Manipulation needs a time frame. If the product is good on Monday, it remains good on Thursday. If the method truly works, it will work after the counter reaches zero. If the opportunity disappears because you went to sleep before buying, it wasn't an opportunity. It was pressure disguised as an opportunity. And there's a huge difference between the two. Here's a practical test. The next time you're on a sales page and your heart races because of a countdown timer, close your browser. Wait 24 hours. If after a day you still want it, and the product still exists, because it usually does, the closure is often as real as the 11 job openings. Then consider it, calmly, with research, with the right question. Is this useful to me right now? Do I need this? Can I afford to buy it? Do I have time to apply? These questions are deadly for any launch built on artificial urgency, because they demand honesty, and honesty is exactly what the accountant tries to steal from you. The system calls it urgent because manufactured psychological pressure to suppress your rational judgment before you realize you're being manipulated doesn't fit on a banner, but your brain knows the difference when you're calm enough to listen. If you've made it this far, you already know more than 90% of the people who will click Buy Now this week without understanding why. And this knowledge, unlike the bonus that expires at midnight, isn't going anywhere. Stay here. There are more uncomfortable things like this waiting.